Mr. Durite at y'all one more again. I'd like to welcome you to my show. The topic is, today the topic is my top 10 movies of 2013, seen through my eyes. You might have your list, but today is my list. And then you can argue with me. You might say, look, you so full of, and you can say that all you want, that's fine. I like debate, I like that tension, you know. I thrive on that, and I welcome it. So let's get into the list.
10.
Number 10, The Book Thief. Man, this movie, I didn't expect a lot, but I like World War II films, you know, talking about the Nazis and everything. Seeing the Nazis get their butts whooped and everything, yay. Of course, there's not a lot of black people in it. And I don't think nothing. There was not one black person in this whole film because it was based in Germany. So, you know, there you go. But I also like to see that person fighting all odds and make it. And that's what this film had. You know, you hear, oh, the book thief, come on, get over that stuff. You like good films, and people always crying about, oh man, movies suck. Well, go look at some good films, and that was a good one. I still like those types of films. You know, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, oh, that one, that was an emotional roller coaster right there. They're in a situation, but the story's not about the big view. It's just this one small aspect of the film. And that's what made me like the film, because it's about this little girl growing up during this time, told from her point of view. It was heartwarming, you know. You like to see that, and you hate to see it. You like and hate at the same time. You hate to see children in a situation like that, but you like to see them be able to get out, to overcome things like that. And so that's what made this film great. I saw this film with my daughter, and she's 25, and I was sitting up there, you know, trying to suck up them tears and everything, because I'm not about to start crying in front of my daughter and everything. So, you know, but it was good. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't sitting there boo-hooing, just saying, hey, I got a little something in the eye, but that's about it. But anyway, I don't want her seeing that. But it was, oh boy, it was really powerful. I really liked this movie. It was well acted, well written, well directed. Oh my goodness. So, number 10, The Book Thief.
9.
Number 9, Lone Survivor. Lone Survivor touches me in a way, and not in that way, because I was in the Navy. I was a submariner, not a Navy SEAL. Had some Navy SEALs on board one time, but that's a totally different story. But I tell you what, and I know for a fact, that's a tough son of a bitches. So, watching this movie, you understand why they gotta be tough son of a bitches in the situations that they find themselves in and get themselves out of. That's the only way you can be to make that work. But I can relate to them because we were part of that brotherhood. And, you know, when I was on the boat, man, I'd do anything for them guys on the boat. Still will, you know. And they had that same camaraderie that we had, and it was awesome, you know. And even though we weren't together, hell, I'm not even in the Navy anymore, but I can still relate to those guys, and we can still be cool. And I've met World War II vets and Vietnam vets, and we can sit down and we get to talking like we old school friends, you know what I mean? And that's what I liked about that. And I had a connection with that film. You know, it's just like Act of Valor. I had a connection with that film too, and it meant more to me than just watching any regular film that I don't know nothing about. You know, I'm not saying that Crimson Tide and me have a special connection, because once I got to the boat, I was like, oh, that movie was all right.
8.
Number 8, Monsters University. Now, I know you're saying, oh, you look at cartoons, blah. But you know what? No, get out of here. I like Pixar. Pixar does good films. They develop good characters, good stories, good plots, you know, good visuals. Man, I'm still tripping off of Wall-E. You know, a lot of people say, oh, well, Wall-E wasn't that great. Yeah, compared to what? You remember when you first saw Finding Nemo, and you was like, whoa, look at this. It looked like real fish and everything. They had a good story, they had good characters, you know, it looked real. You couldn't beat that. So don't sit up here and hate on Pixar. Oh, look at the cartoon. You know you're gonna sit there and watch it, You're gonna be like, oh, go Nemo, go, and stuff like that. And I'm not even talking about Nemo, but anyway, all right, come on, Nemo, Toy Story, The Incredibles. I mean, they've done stuff with their films that really is not necessarily mainstream. It's the same old story told over and over again, but they don't tell it the same way. That's what makes them special. And I like Monsters University because you can tell they sat there and watched Revenge of the Nerds and then came up with the script for this. Because you can see the parallels between the two movies. Not totally exactly the same, but if you look at it, you're like, okay, I can see that, I can feel that, it's not all that bad. And the animation was definitely good. I mean, come on, you saw the fur on that one monster. I don't know the name of that monster. I don't keep up with the name. I mean, I can't even remember. I ain't gonna say that. But just the fur, you like, wow, look at how many strands of fur is on this thing. It's like, it's a real creature. You looked at it and you swore that it was real, and somebody was going around with a camera recording all this stuff. So I liked it. Look at the film. You may say, oh, this is just another cartoon, but I think you're doing a disjustice by having a preconceived conception about this film. Pixar's been putting out good stuff all the way back to when they started putting out stuff. And don't ask me about the dates, I ain't got time for that. But anyway, Monsters University definitely was better than Monsters Inc. And I never saw Monsters Inc. before I saw Monsters University, and I'm actually happy about it. So once I saw Monsters University, I rolled in and watched Monsters Inc. And I was like, wow, these two movies are night and day, even though they got majority of the same characters in it. But it's funny what time does and experience, huh? Having to prove themselves and everything, and having this friendship, even though the friendship wasn't at the beginning. I challenge anyone to find a better movie than that, for their dime. I thought it was a really good film.
7.
Number 7, Two Guns. Two Guns with Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington. Wow, Mark Wahlberg made it into 2 of my films for the top 10. What's this world coming to? Hope he's not in here for a 3rd one. He's not. I mean, Denzel by himself is, stellar. I mean, Safe House. I wasn't really feeling him too much in Safe House. He's still a good actor, and he still did a good job in it. I like this one better, and it seems like, even though he is getting up in age, and he had a pretty doggone good scene in this movie, and I like that. It's about time. Mark and Denzel, they had great chemistry in this film. They had the right aspect of cleverness and action. They actually had some kind of dialogue. Not a whole bunch of story, but it is an action film. What can I say? I like this film.
6.
Number 6, Captain Phillips. Once again, the Navy SEALs come through, save the day. Same thing. Navy SEALs make it to 2 films in my top 10. Wow. Will they show up again? No. I like the fact that they showed the Navy in the light that they did. It wasn't no fake Navy with the big gigantic collar devices and messed up uniforms. You're like, they wouldn't wear that underway. But anyway, I like that they try to keep the aspect of the Navy real, but that's not what the movie was about. It was about Captain Phillips, and it was nice to see that, he was a leader, and it's nice to see leaders. And, he didn't want to see any harm to his crew. He dealt with the situation, kept a cool head the whole way through, and it was nice. And at the end, you that weight was lifted off your shoulders just like it was for him, and that makes great filmmaking. Captain Phillips almost didn't make the cut for top 10, maybe top 20, but I mean, it does have Tom Hanks in it. And Tom Hanks, come on, when the last time you seen Tom Hanks in a piss poor, terrible film? I mean, get out of here. So watch this, and he is such a believable actor that he could play any role and you believe that's this person. You don't look at this Captain Phillips and think of Forrest Gump, the guy from Castaway. You only think about that person he's playing, because Tom Hanks play these great characters. He brings so much to the roles, and watching him, a person that was concerned about his crew, which makes a good captain, and he was going to protect them at all costs, and that's what he did. And he kept his head throughout the whole situation, you know. He could have flew off the handle, he could have did this and that, you know. You always got those guys, oh, if that was me, I would have did this. Whatever. I'm going to tell you from experience. Just because you're in a situation, you don't know what you're going to do. Hopefully you'll do the right thing, but you don't know what you're going to do. Watching this film, I thought it was really great, and that's why it's in my top 10.
5.
Number 5, 42, the Jackie Robinson story. I think it's the best Jackie Robinson film that I've ever seen. Even though there's not a whole lot of Jackie Robinson films, and why not? But you know what's funny about that? In a lot of black films, you hear about Jackie Robinson, people talk about Jackie Robinson, you'll see like TV shots, but he didn't have a lot of movies. It's like, wow, this dude's great, but not great enough for a film. So now he's finally great enough for a film, and I am so happy. Definitely the best one I've seen. And I like the fact that they didn't focus on all the negative aspects of the time. Yeah, it's Jackie Robinson. You know, it is segregation. He was the first black man to break into baseball. So, you know, all those things are going to be there, and we already know they're there. It was nice that they didn't focus on something that we already knew. They just focused on the stuff that we didn't know. The support that he got, his wife backing him up the way she did. It was called a Jackie Robinson story, but it wasn't just his story. It was a lot of people's story backing him up and helping him get to where he was at. If he tried to do that all by himself, I don't think you would ever even heard of Jackie Robinson. But since he had support from so many people, it all came together, and there he was, first black man in baseball. That's what they showed in this film, and that's what made this movie outstanding.
4.
Number 4, look, when I seen the previews for Pacific Rim, I was like, I gotta see that movie. Giant robots, monsters fighting, this is gonna be on and popping. Now, don't get me wrong, I said the same thing with Spawn, and I was so mad at that movie that I said I would never hype myself up for another film again. And so right after that, when I saw Spawn, I saw the trailer for Blade, and I was like, nope, I'm not getting hyped up for this. And Blade turned out to be really good. And I think that was a good habit of mine, not building myself up too much for the fall. However, then I heard about who the director was, Guillermo del Toro, and I was like, whoa, this that guy that made that Pan's Labyrinth, and I didn't like that at all. I still don't know what that movie's about. I know what the movie's about, but I don't know what the movie's about. I was skeptical about this big time. I was like, oh, the monster's gonna be goofy looking and everything, which the monster still was goofy looking. You could tell he had some input on the character creation of those monsters, and you're like, boy, that looks kind of familiar. He likes those swirls and everything. That's why you see me doing this. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, I like this movie because it was giant robots fighting giant monsters. Hey, I can roll with that, you know. I'm so critical with movies, and sometimes it's nice to go in a movie not expecting anything to be like real. And that's what helped me enjoy this film. Man, I had the best time. You can tell when I'm having a fun time at the movie because I laugh at every scene. I'm just laughing, and I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm excited. I feel like a little kid, you know, like, whoa, big robots. So yeah. That's what that film did to me. You know, I've watched it maybe 5 or 6 times so far, and I can watch this film over and over. You know, I don't care about the dialogue. You know, there's a speech around every corner. Dude, them fighting those robots, get out of here. Granted, it could have been a little bit better. And, you know, dragging a ship down the street behind you using it as a baseball bat. But you know what? I checked that at the door. It's not like I'm watching Fast and Furious 6 or 7 or 12 or anything like that. Runway. Get out of here.
3.
Number 3, Star Trek Into Darkness. I am a Star Trek fan. However, I've never seen the original series. People probably say, well, how can you be a fan if you've never seen the original series? Easy. Them shits is old. I can't go back to that. That's in the 60s. That didn't appeal to me at all. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth, and y'all going to be mad at me. I was happy when Gene Roddenberry died. I grew up watching Next Generation, and I like Next Generation, but Next Generation didn't get real good until after he died. They got more people to put input in, and it just started growing and started getting better and better. However, maybe if he was alive, Voyage would have been just a little bit better than it was. So when I heard J.J. Abrams was gonna take on the series, I was like, boy, yes, because we need that, because the rest of those movies was boo. When the first one came out, I was like, wow, this is great. I can't believe this. This is how it's supposed to be in the first place. It was nice. And it was just a movie watcher's movie. It wasn't anything special. It was just a movie watcher's movie. Everybody enjoyed it. But with this second one, it had two halves to it. It was a movie watcher's movie. You didn't have to know anything about Star Trek to watch this film. And if you watched the first one, that's all you needed to know. It also appealed to the Trekkies. You saw stuff from different places. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So that's what made this film good. Thank you, J.J. Abrams, for taking over that series and not making another boring-ass Star Trek film. It was definitely going to make my top 10. When I saw Star Trek, I thought it was going to be number 1. And then I saw the next film.
2.
Number 2, Man of Steel. You might be saying, Man of Steel better than Star Trek Into Darkness? Yes, it is. And the only reason I say it is because a lot of people didn't like this film. Yeah, I think Superman is overrated. He's like a cheap character. I mean, the dude can fly, he's fast, he's bulletproof, he's super strong, laser beams coming out of his eyes, hurricane breath. Goodness, you think you overstacked the deck or what? Be like all these other superheroes. Hell, Wolverine, he got claws coming out of there, he can heal himself, but as soon as Magneto comes around, he ain't worth a blood nickel. Getting some old glowing green rocks and that's supposed to stop him. Really? Rocks? Anyway. This film, they didn't take that approach. I mean, he still had all those powers. They changed it up a little bit, and I think it was a good change. You don't have the dumb Lois Lane anymore. You don't have the dumb rocks anymore. You don't have the goody two-shoe Kryptonians. That's what I like. That's what I like. You're gonna change it to something. It doesn't have to be totally in reality, but let's don't get so far off that it's just completely stupid. The Kryptonians were conquerors. They weren't this goody two-shoe race of people on this planet. Their planet blew up and pieces of the planet turned into green rocks and stupid crap like that. Yes, I like it. I like that it didn't do that. It's an origin story with a not realistic origin, but more of a realistic feel. You know, if it's really gonna happen, come on, let's not make it stupid. And I like not making it stupid. I like the Dark Knight series and how they didn't make it stupid. Yeah, it is Batman. It is this dude riding around in a Batmobile, but at least the Batmobile was like based on a real type of vehicle. The stuff that he had, his equipment and stuff, was based on real technology and not some made up crap. You know, some of it was kind of retarded, but it doesn't matter. And they try to do the same thing here with this Superman, and I appreciate them not being retarded. With the Kryptonians, what I like about the Kryptonians is that they were conquerors. They were just going around taking whatever they wanted to take. Look at us, we got this technology, we gonna kick y'all butt and change y'all planet to our planet. That's what we gonna do. Screw you, we just kicked y'all butt. Then they couldn't conquer no more. They fell off. They wasn't the winning team anymore. So now it's like, oh no, we finna die. But it was nice to see that. Come on, Superman's supposed to be the good from the bad, you know? Even though General Zod wasn't necessarily bad, if you sit back and look at the film again and look at General Zod, we support our troops, right? Now, we don't know what they doing over there, but as long as they doing what they gotta do to keep us free and maintain our way of life, then we happy with it. General Zod doing what he's supposed to do to maintain the Kryptonians' way of life. You can't really consider him a bad guy. He's only a bad guy because he came to Earth to do it, you know, and it's like, well, where is he gonna go? It was a great origins film. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Where we gonna go from here? Like Wonder Woman and a lot of the other DC characters, like they almost don't fit. Green Lantern fitting in Man of Steel? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
1.
My number 1 film of 2013, Gravity. Gravity is outstanding. I like the fact they use sound as a character in this film. They even come on at the beginning of the film and say something about sound, you know? And it's cool. I like the fact that it wasn't a science fiction film, as a lot of people will say. You know, hey man, you should check out Gravity. Oh, I'm not really into that science fiction. You're like, what? It's not science fiction. NASA sends up space shuttles all the time, or they used to, you know. They would go up there, fix satellites, come back down, go to space stations, yada, yada, yada. So how is that science fiction? This movie was great because you felt like you was in space. And it's a disservice not seeing it in a movie theater because you don't get that feel. And actually, this is one movie I recommend in 3D because you feel like you're in space. You feel like you're the one floating around seeing all this stuff happening around you. It was done well. The techniques was perfect. The CGI was perfect. The acting was perfect. The story, it wasn't a whole lot of story. Did you really need a whole lot of story? Going into this film, I had no expectations of anything. You know, I saw the previews, but it's like, they didn't show you a whole lot. And I think that's the best preview, Hollywood. Don't give away the whole movie in sequence. Just give a little tidbit, wet our mouths a little bit, and then you, bam, hit us with the doggone movie. Bam, what a crazy concept. But anyway, and when I was in there, I was, you know, I started watching film and then I started inching to the edge of my seat. Now I'm on the edge of my seat watching this film, and I'm staying on the edge of my seat, and I gasp, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's what that movie did from beginning to end. And that is why Gravity is my #1 movie of 2013. There are a million videos out there you could be watching, and you chose to view this one, and I appreciate you. This wraps up my top 10. I actually got a top 20, but ain't nobody got time for that. So I will post my top 20 films and see if you agree or disagree with that. If you like what I'm doing, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You know, let me know what I'm doing. Let me know what I'm doing right. Let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know what I can do better. Cuss me out. You want to troll me? That's cool. You big black fat yada yada yada. That's fine. You know what? I have no problem with that. I got some pretty thick skin, and it's not gonna faze me not one bit. That's just like them internet Nazis on Xbox or something playing Call of Duty. You know, you this, you that. Come on, you 10 years old. What are you talking about? I need that feedback. This is the first video of something that I want to make even better and even bigger. So comments, ideas, anything like that, I am more than welcome to it. I'm on this journey with you. Let's do it. Peace out.